So all of a sudden, this incredible responsibility is placed upon the shoulders of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. And one can just only imagine what Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam would be thinking at this time. He's in this desert. His wife is waiting for him. She's expecting. And this incredible conversation, this kalam where Allah Ta'ala addressed Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam directly and gave these amazing miracles and also placed this tremendous responsibility upon him that give dawat to Fir'aun. Perhaps maybe Fir'aun might accept this dawat. Maybe he might accept this nasiyat, this advice. So what was Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam thinking at this time? Elsewhere in the Quran, Allah Ta'ala gives us a glimpse of the thoughts that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam was having. For example, one thought that he had was that he knew that I've committed a crime. I've committed a crime in the city of Fir'aun, and which was an event that happened when he was young, that in that city there was a Coptic, and Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam had killed that man. And this was accidental, but an accidental murder, not deliberate, but it had happened. And Sayyidina Musa, there's a fight going on between one person, and this Coptic was oppressing someone else. So Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam wanted to save that person who was being oppressed. And he just wanted to hit that person enough so that he would leave his zulm. He would leave the oppression that he was doing. But Allah Ta'ala had given Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam a lot of quwwat, a lot of taqat, a lot of strength. So that one strike was enough to kill that man. And this murder, or this person was killed accidentally on the hands of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. So Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam knew about this. And what had happened in that event is that eventually the news had reached Fir'aun as well, that this person has been killed, and Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is the one who's responsible for this. So Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he knows about this, and he's thinking that how can I go back to Fir'aun? Fir'aun is thirsty for my blood. Fir'aun I'm a wanted person. I'm a wanted man. And he has sent people against me because he wants to identify me. He is searching for me. And when he finds that I'm here, he will kill me. An yaktulun. So Sayyidina, this is one thought that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam has, that how can I go back to Fir'aun when he's searching for me and he wants to kill me? The second thing, which is also on the mind of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, is that he has a lisp. He speaks with a lisp on his tongue. And this lisp is also mentioned in the Quran. Quran mentions about this, yafqahu qawli, that yassirli amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani. He speaks with a lisp on his tongue. There are some riwayat which give us the detail of how this happened, why this happened. That when Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam was being raised up in the palace of Fir'aun, so Fir'aun, his wife, Hazrat Asiya alayhi salam, she was a pious woman, and she had a lot of love for Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. And she was always wishing, desiring that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam will live with us. We will raise him up. We will do his tarbiyah, his upbringing, and we will raise him up just like our own child. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Fir'aun, he was very scared. He was fearful because some soothsayers and astrologers of his court had said to him that a boy will be born from your community and he will be the source of your destruction, of your halakat. So whenever his wife would say something like that about Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, Fir'aun would be fearful. Fir'aun would be uncomfortable with that talk. And he would sometimes even say to his wife that, uh, observe this young boy, observe him very carefully. I think he's very intelligent. And he was fearful because if he's intelligent, then means maybe this boy will be a source of his destruction eventually. So he would keep asking his wife that, notice and tell me if you see any signs of intelligence in him. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put this in the heart of Hazrat Asi alayhi salam, that let's take a test of this boy. That how intelligent, is he really intelligent or is he just innocent, masoom? So the test was that they kept one diamond on the right side and a piece of coal, burning coal on the left side. And both were placed in front of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, who was very young, a boy. And the test was that whatever he picks up, if he picks up the diamond, then we will know that he's really intelligent and there is a reason to be scared about him. And on the other hand, if he picks up that burning coal, then Bechara, he's just Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is innocent. He's just a boy. He doesn't have that acumen, that intelligence. So both things were kept in front of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, and Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam picked up the coal. And this was again decreed by Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that event in such a way that he picked up that coal and he placed it on his tongue. And this was done so that Fir'aun becomes content. That, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he would think that he's not a very special boy, he's just ordinary. And when Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam kept that coal on his tongue, he developed a lisp, that he would speak with a lisp on his tongue. So this is mentioned in some riwayat, wallahu alam. But what we do know is that in Quran it's mentioned that there was a lisp on his tongue. He spoke with the luknat. So this was also on the mind of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, that when I go to Fir'aun and if I invite him towards Iman, then how can I convey my message? I can't even speak properly. I stutter when I speak. I have this obstacle speech impediment. So I won't even be able to talk to Fir'aun properly. And then also I have to go alone. I have no one with me, no supporter, no helper, no one to assist me. And this is such a big task to go to Fir'aun, that Fir'aun who is claiming divinity for himself, who is saying that Ana Rabbukumul A'la, that I'm the Rabbul A'la. To go to that Fir'aun and tell him to leave his claim of divinity and to accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as his Lord and to make tawbah for all his previous beliefs and to even set free this Bani Israel that he has enslaved and to set the people free and allow them to go with Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. So this is an incredible task. This requires a lot of himmat to be able to say all of that to Fir'aun, who is a tyrant. And here Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is all alone. So at that time, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he made this dua. And this is a dua which we have here on the screen as well. So this is the time when and we'll shall look at this dua bit by bit. So the first thing that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he asks from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Rabbish Rahli Sadri. That, oh my Rabb, again we have this word Rabb, and I did this before as well. Oh my Rabb, my cherisher. This is such a beautiful way of addressing. Not Allahumma, not invoking the name of Allah, but invoking the relationship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has with us, that He is our Rabb, that He is our nurturer, He is my sustainer, my nourisher, my protector, my caretaker, my guardian. Rabb. Rabbish Rahli Sadri. That, oh Allah, expand my breast for me. Expand my chest for me. وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي, and make easy this task which you have assigned to me. Make easy this task which you have assigned to me. وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي, and remove this speech impediment, this impediment that I have on my tongue, this knot that is there on my tongue, this obstacle. Allah, untie this knot for me. لِيَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي, so that he, yani Fir'aun, is able to understand my speech. Fir'aun is able to understand my speech. وَاجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي, and appoint for me a helper, a supporter, someone who will assist me from my own family. Harun akhi, my brother Harun alayhi salatu wassalam. Appoint him as a supporter for me in this task of giving dawat of Iman to Fir'aun. Ushdud bihi azri, and increase through him my strength. Increase my strength through my brother by making him my support. وَأَشْرِكْهُ فِي أَمْرِي, and let him participate with me in this task of dawah. Let him share my task. Let him share this task with me. And then why is all of this being said? Right? So that what should both of us do? That yani make him a Nabi as well. Just like you have made me a Nabi, Allah give Nabuwwat to my brother as well, so that both of us then together can combine and do what? We can do Kai nusabbihaka kathira wa nazkuraka kathira, so that we can do tasbih of you abundantly. We can remember you abundantly. We can do zikr of you abundantly. Innaka kunta bina basira, and indeed you are ever seeing over us, always looking over us. Now this is really ajib. Before we come to the dua, let's look at the last part of this dua. This is really ajib. They're very beautiful and very deep, in fact, that this mission is being given to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. And what is that mission? That mission is to go to Fir'aun, to invite him towards Iman, to have this concern that Fir'aun can perhaps change his ways, he can rectify his ways, he can make tawbah. This is the mission. For this reason, all these du'as are being made. This is the reason why Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is asking that Allah grant me a helper in the form of my brother, Sayyidina Harun alayhi salam, so that he can assist me in this mission of inviting Fir'aun towards Iman. But interestingly, after making this dua and after asking Allah Ta'ala for assistance and for this help, right, that Allah, when you have made my brother my wazir, you have given him nabuwa, and you have given me support using my brother, and he will be a sharik to me, he will participate with me in this task of dawah and inviting Fir'aun towards Iman. So what will happen after all of this? Kai nusabbihaka kasira. Kai nusabbihaka kasira wa nazkuraka kasira. We're doing all of this so that what is the last manzil? What is the final goal? What is the ultimate purpose? The ultimate purpose is so that together, me and my brother, we can do tasbih of you. We can do zikr of you. And we can remember you abundantly. And we can always keep reminding ourselves that innaka kunta bina basira, that you are always looking over us, that you're always watching us. Now this might seem odd, that otherwise it was very straightforward. They could have said that Allah, open my chest, grant me share sadr, and remove this obstacle from my speech, and make my brother a supporter, so that we can go to Fir'aun, so that, right? Kailik, so that we can go to Fir'aun and we can give dawat in a very effective way. That would have made sense, because that is what is all, this is all happening for that reason, so that we can go give Fir'aun dawat and give it dawat in a very, muassir way, in an effective way, in a way that can reap good benefits, good result. But that is not mentioned here. What is mentioned here is كَيْ نُسَبِّحَكَ كَثِيرًا وَنَذْكُرَكَ كَثِيرًا. Why? And what's the hikmat? What's the reason? Why are they making this dua? And why are they ending this dua with this? So that we can do your zikr abundantly. And this is really a gem that our mashayikh, they explain that the reason is that whether a person is giving, and understand this point really carefully, this is really critical, key usul in our deen, that whether a person is giving da'wat, they're engaged in the work of da'wah, whether you're giving da'wah to Fir'aun even, like in this case, whether you're engaged in tabligh, you're engaged in some other khidmat of deen, whether you're engaged in the study of ilm-e-deen, you're learning ilm-e-deen, whether you are, whatever khidmat, whatever service that you're doing in deen, that service is not the goal in of itself. Even you're studying ilm-e-deen, that ilm in of itself is not the goal. Your dawat, inviting others, in of itself, that is not the goal. You want to rectify some person who's making a mistake. Now this islah in of itself is not the goal. But the maqsood asli, the real goal, the primary goal, the ultimate goal is that Allah, we want to do your tasbih. We will do your tasbih and we will do zikr kasir. وَنَذْكُرَكَ كَثِيرًا. Meaning that we want, the ultimate goal is that we want to have a strong relationship with you. Such a strong relationship with you, Ya Allah, that wherever we are walking, we are sitting, we are lying on our sides, whatever we are doing, whether we are giving dawat to Fir'aun, whether we are defending Bani Israel, whether the two of us, the two brothers, we are going together upon this mission of da'wah and inviting people towards Iman, whatever we are doing, whatever our state is, we're standing, sitting, lying, in all of this, our real goal is that we want to strengthen our relationship with you, Ya Allah. We want to have a strong relationship with you, such a strong relationship that throughout the day, throughout the night, every moment, Ya Allah, we are thinking about you. We are remembering you. Kasrat-e zikr. We are abundantly remembering you abundantly, remembering you profusely. We are remembering you excessively. We are thinking about you all the time. This is our real goal. That through our studies, through our learning ilm, through inviting others, through khidmat, through islah, through giving da'wah, through all of these activities, these are all means to an end, and our real goal, our real destination is that, Ya Allah, we want a ta'alluq with you. We just want ruju ilallah. We want a heart which is always inclined towards you, a heart which is always remembering you, which is thinking about you, a heart which is drowning in love for you, a heart which is attached to you, a heart in which you reside. That, Ya Allah, your zikr comes into our heart. Your zikr, Allah, it completely overwhelms our heart. It takes over our heart. That is what our real goal is. That we're attached to you so much that we cannot be heedless of you even for a moment, even for a fraction of a second. This is our real goal in whatever we do, wherever we are, every moment, every harkat, every motion, every movement. Allah, it's geared towards this goal. Even our inviting Fir'aun and giving dawat to Fir'aun, this is for this goal that we want, Ya Allah, a taluk with you. We want a heart that is always remembering you. That is our maqsad. That is our real maqsad. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed upon their tongue. Allah ta'ala made them say this. Allah ta'ala made them say this, made them use these words in their dua, so that this becomes a lesson for me and you. This is a very important lesson for me and you. That many times it happens that we make the means an end. Now, ilm, acquiring knowledge of deen, is farz, but it is not the goal in of itself. The goal is that you acquire the ilm, and then after that you do amal and try to come close to Allah Ta'ala. Similarly, dawat, tabligh, inviting other people towards deen. This is a very good meritorious task, extremely meritorious, extremely rewarding, but it's not the goal in of itself. Not the goal in of itself. The goal is that through this, we are able to strengthen our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People do jihad. Jihad, again, is not the goal in of itself. The goal is that we obey the command of Allah and we are willing to sacrifice our life. We are prepared to sacrifice our life for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that we can strengthen that relationship with Allah. So this is the goal. This is that whatever task we are doing, whatever service we are engaged in, whatever khidmat that we are doing, even if it's dini khidmat, whether it's ta'aleem, studies, whether it's da'wah, whether it's politics, whether it's some humanitarian work, whatever it is, the real goal is kay nusabbihaka kasira wa nazkuraka kasira innaka kunta bina basira. This is the real goal. That we remember you abundantly, we glorify and do tasbih of you abundantly, and we're always aware throughout the motions, throughout our day and night, that Allah, you are looking over us, you are watching us. Now let's look at the words of the dua and reflect on the dua itself. So what is the first dua that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam is making? Rabbish rahli sadri. That, oh my Rabb, open my breast, expand for me my breast. Oops. All right. Rabbish rahli sadri, that expand for me my breast. So this is the dua, first part. Now this word sharah, Rabbish rah, sharah, it's translated in English as open or expand, and English is doesn't have that capacity to be able to fully convey the meaning, right? And sharaha yashrahu sharhan in Arabic language, it's a very deep, has a very deep meaning. And what it means is that that you open something, and you open something in such a way that you give it complete expansion. Yani, you open there is something which has hidden or latent ability. Some latent ability is there, and you want to open it in such a way that all of that hidden, latent, potent ability becomes manifest. And it becomes manifest in the fullest extent, that whatever was hidden and inside, You want to bring it out, you want to expand it, and you want to do it to the fullest of extent. This is called sharah. It's not simply opening or expanding. It's about whatever lies hidden, those hidden skills, abilities, hidden powers. You want to expand upon that. You want to provide details, and details also which are full expanded details. I'll give you an example. Uh, Sometimes we have books and sharah, shuruhat are written about those books. Commentaries are written about that book, about a particular book. Now, what's the commentary? Commentary means that there is this original book called the Matan, and in that original book, there are some points which are very compressed, which are packed together, and which are causing some confusion. They're sort of densely packed together. So there is ikhtisar, there is brief, there is abbreviation in the original text. And when the shara comes out, when the commentary is written in order to expand on those points, fully expand those points which are compressed in the original work. It's to provide details which are not there in the original work. Provide details to the fullest of extent. This is called shara. This is the meaning of shara. And this is the dua that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is making. That, oh Allah, when you open my breast, this chest of mine has certain confusion. There are certain things which I know briefly. There are things which are packed. Allah, open it up for me and fully open it up for me so that I'm able to attain itminan. I can acquire contentment and satisfaction. In another word which is used for this is called shara-e-sadr. Shara-e-sadr means that there is something on which, when you say there is something, I've acquired shara-e-sadr on this thing, it means that now your heart has acquired itminan about that matter. The heart has acquired contentment. The heart is content about that issue. And there is no wasawis left. There is no confusion left about that issue. You don't have any doubts or skepticism about that issue. Now the heart has acquired conviction, has acquired contentment, has acquired serenity, peace, is in a state of itminan about that matter. This is called shara-e-sadr. And elsewhere, Allah Ta'ala mentions about the Prophet ﷺ that Alam nashrah laka sadrak. When Allah Ta'ala mentions the favors and the blessings that Allah Ta'ala sent to the Prophet ﷺ, so one of the blessings is this, that have we not granted sharah, have we not opened your breast and chest for you? So how did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open? And again, what happened was that when the Prophet ﷺ received a nabuwat, so this again was a very big responsibility. And the Prophet ﷺ was in a state where he was worried and concerned whether I'll be able to bear this responsibility or not. So that is what Allah Ta'ala is saying, that did we not open your chest? And did we not give you itminan in your heart? That initially when the Prophet ﷺ was concerned and worried about himself, then Allah Ta'ala gave that shara-sadr, expanded the breast and opened the matter and gave itminan to the Prophet ﷺ. So this is called shara-sadr, and this is a very big ni'mat of Allah Ta'ala, to get itminan in your heart about a particular matter. Any matter, whether pertaining to deen or dunya, some matter where you are unsure, where there is some confusion, where there is some where there is some doubts, you're skeptical about it. And all of those things go away and Allah gives you itminan and contentment. This is called shara-sadr. And this is a thing that all of us need. Every single one of us, we need this. We need shara-sadr in our life. And we need shara-sadr in almost all aspects of our life. Let's say, I was just giving this example today. Students, they ask that which major should I choose for my undergraduate study? Should I choose accounting and finance or computer science? Now, this is again a decision that you have to make, and you're asking Allah that Allah guide my heart. There are two ways in front of me, A or B, and I'm undecided. I'm confused. I'm in a state of doubt. So when you make dua, this is a time. If a person can turn to Allah Ta'ala and they can make this dua, that Allah Rabbi shrah li sadri, that Allah grant me shara sadr, open my chest, grant me itminan in my heart, so that my heart now becomes content that this is the path for me. Grant me shara sadr about what is best for me. I'll give, sometimes people ask about nikah, that who should I marry? There are different people, prospective spouse. So you should make dua at that time. Ask Allah Ta'ala, that Ya Allah, grant me Rabbi shrah li sadri. Allah, grant me itminan in my heart. Remove that doubt. Remove that confusion which is within me. Expand my chest. Expand my breast. Open it up for me. And this happens in so many spheres of life. You want to choose a career. You want to choose a job. What should I do? Which job should I take? Should I accept job offer A or B? So when a person is in those situations and your heart is in a state of unrest, you're agitated, that is the time to make this dua to Allah Ta'ala. Rabbi shrah li sadri, that, oh Allah, expand my chest for me. Meaning that Allah, whatever is the correct way, the right way, the blessed way, the best way, Allah, grant me that way. And grant my heart contentment about that way. So that there's no doubt that remains in my heart now. My heart attains this state of itminan. There is no confusion which is left. This is called shara sadr. And this is what Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam is asking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That, Ya Allah, the first thing which I need from you at this time is a shara sadr. Because right now, different types of wasawis are coming. I mentioned different types of thoughts are coming. That if I go to Fir'aun will kill me. He will not listen to me. He will return me. He will imprison me. He will not even allow me to enter the palace. He will hurt my people. He might do some other ploy or trick with me. All types of thoughts are coming. All types of doubts are coming. So the first dua, the first thing that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, the first thing that I need is, Ya Allah, grant me shara sadr. Allah, expand my chest, expand my breast so that I know that this task, this work, this da'wat that I'm giving, I have itminan about this task. That I have itminan, I have serenity, I am content about this task, that this is the right task for me. This is the best task for me. This is the correct task for me. I have itminan about this matter, that what I'm doing is right. Allah, put that shara sadr in my heart. Then, like I said, that we need this shara sadr on every step of our life. Sometimes people who are, sometimes people come to you and ask you that, what should I do? People ask masla as well, right? So whenever you are in doubt, what reply should I give? Some friend comes to you and asks you for advice, and what advice should I give him? What advice should I give her? So one should do ruju ilallah. Turn to Allah Ta'ala in your heart and just silently make this dua. Rabbi shrah li sadri. That, Ya Allah, just open my chest and grant me itminan in my heart so that I can give that reply which is pleasing to you. So this is the first the first dua. And this is really a very, very big ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then after this, the second dua that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam makes here is wayassir li amri. Wayassir li amri. that, oh Allah, make easy for me all my tasks. And this was such a big task, such a big task, such a big responsibility to go to Egypt and go to Fir'aun, and all at the back of the mind, all of this fear that what will happen to me, maybe I might get caught. So asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Allah, this is a very difficult task, but Ya Allah, make it easy for me. So difficult, it's like a mountain. So the second thing that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is asking here is, Ya Allah, make this easy for me. وَيَسِّرْ لِي amri. And this is again a lesson for me and you, for all of us, that whenever a person is faced with a difficulty in life, with a hardship, with some big issue, a flashpoint, no matter how difficult that is, and you're getting worried about it, you're getting stressed out and agitated. So at this time, what is a person supposed to do? We are supposed to make this dua to Allah Ta'ala. That's what Allah Ta'ala is teaching. That ask me like this. That, Allah, this is such a tremendously difficult task, difficult stage of my life, difficult phase that I'm going through. وَيَسِّرْ لِي amri. Allah, make it easy for me. Allah, make it easy. And this is really a display of our humility before Allah Ta'ala. This is abdiyat. That, Ya Allah, I'm your servant, I'm your slave. I don't have the ability, Ya Allah, to bear hardships. I'm very weak. I don't have that strength. Ya Allah, if it's difficult task, I will not be able to accomplish it. I won't be able to do it. I will fail in this task. I will fail in this responsibility. Ya Allah, I'm weak. Allah, I ask you that please make it easy for me. Allah, I'm needy. Allah, I'm dependent upon you. Allah, grant me ease. Grant me ease. And this was also the habit of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ as well. It comes that the Prophet ﷺ, that whenever there were two things, the Prophet ﷺ said that whenever there are two things and I can choose between the two, I always choose the one which is easy. Right? If the Prophet ﷺ was presented with a choice about two, whether do A or B, plan A, plan B. So the Prophet ﷺ sunnah was to always pick that option which is easier, which is easier. The Prophet ﷺ chose ease. This is a sign of humility. This is a sign of abdiyat. This is a sign of servitude. That, Allah, you're not showing arrogance before Allah. You're not showing your strength to Allah. You're not showing your boldness to Allah, but rather you're showing your weakness. You're showing your humility, ajizi, tawazu. You're just bowing your head before Allah and saying, Ya Allah, this is beyond my ability. Allah, I'm very weak. Ya Allah, please make this easy for me. Allah, without your ease, Allah, nothing will become easy for me. وَيَسِّرْ لِي amri. So we should always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for ease in our affairs. The Prophet ﷺ taught us these du'as, that, Allah, grant me ease, fi taysir kulli asir. In every difficulty, Allah, grant me ease. فَإِنَّ التَّيْسِيرَ الْعَسِيرَ عَلَيْكَ يَسِيرٌ. For you, that you can make every difficulty easy, and making every difficulty easy is easy for you. Allah, it's easy for you that you can make every difficulty easy for me. These are the du'as of the Prophet ﷺ. That, Ya Allah, shower your grace and your mercy and your rahmat upon me. Allah, make every difficulty and hardship, Allah, make that easy for me. This is a display of our abdiyat before Allah. That, Ya Allah, show me the easy way. Allah, guide me to the easy way. If you have to go to the masjid, one is that you can take a longer way and you can walk, and the other is that you can take a car and go to the masjid. Now, if a person wants to walk for the sake of walk, for the sake of exercise, or for the sake of reward, that every step that I take, I'll be rewarded for that, then that is fine. But forcibly walking when there is no benefit to your deen or to your dunya, uh, that is difficult, right? When there are two options, the Prophet system will always choose the easier one. Easier one. This is the sunnat of the Prophet. So Allah Ta'ala is teaching us that make this dua wa yassirli amri. That in every task we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for ease. Wahlul uqdatam min lisani. That, oh Allah, next thing is that remove or untie the knot from my tongue. Now here in this context, there was a real knot on the tongue of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam that he would speak with a lisp. There was a speech impediment. So there was a real obstacle. But this can also be understood in a different way, in a more general way, in a manavi way, that sometimes there is no speech impediment, but sometimes a person may not be getting those words, that what should I say, how to say, what words should I use to convey my message. Right? Sometimes you're giving a speech and you don't know what to say. Sometimes you have to write something and you don't know what to write. So when words fail you, right, you're asking Allah that Allah open this untie this knot on my tongue and allow me to write, allow me to think, allow me to say those words. And then at the end, yafkahu qawli, that Allah untie this knot from my tongue so that they can understand my speech. It's not just enough that I can speak. I want the other people to understand what I'm saying. My speech will have no value if other people are not affected by it. What's the point if I'm speaking and no one is listening, or no one is impacted, no one is affected by it? That's a waste of time. So this is another thing that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam asks, that, Ya Allah, untie the knot from my tongue, grant me the ability to speak, and so that yafkahu qawli, so that the Fir'aun, he can listen, he can understand my speech, and this can go penetrate into his heart. It can go deep in his heart. Yafkahu, he can understand what I'm saying from his heart. So this is the dua that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam is making. And like I said, that this is a dua that applies to each one of us. It's not only specific to this task of giving da'wah. Wherever you are in your life, whatever phase, always, there will be decisions that you have to take. There might be indecision in your life. There might be some doubts. There might be some, there are choices in front of you, and you might be confused. What should I do? Who should I marry? Which career? Which job? What should I say in this matter? So in all of those occasions, right, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we should make this dua to Allah ta'ala, that Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. So this is the summary, that whatever need that we have, whatever issues that we are facing in our life, whatever difficulty there is, the way of a believer is that they do ruju ilallah. They turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is called ruju ilallah. This is called inabat ilallah. This is called wukufe kalbi as well. That you're always pausing your heart on the remembrance of Allah. Always thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when a person, this is called inabat. In Quran, Allah Ta'ala says that those who abundantly they turn towards Allah Ta'ala, inna fi zalika la aya likulli abdim munib. Abdim munib. Kalbe munib. That heart which has inabat towards Allah. Always turning and inclining towards Allah. Returning to Allah. So when a person, they are able to develop this sifat, this attribute within their heart, they're always thinking about Allah, have a yearning and a longing for Allah, then Allah Ta'ala also opens up His blessings for them. Allah Ta'ala opens up ulum and ma'rifah and knowledge and nur for that individual. And Allah Ta'ala gives so much nur and so much ilm that a person cannot even imagine. This is the fazl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah Ta'ala give all of us the tawfiq that we can do this ruju ilallah, and in every task, every activity, we can turn to Allah Ta'ala, we can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq. I will just end with one last point about this dua. Last point, and I want your attention that especially for those who are doing work of deen, it's a point which is relevant for them. That for those who are engaged in the work of deen, and when you do work of deen, then there will be some obstacles which will come on the way. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so kareem that as you continue doing work of deen, Allah Ta'ala Himself will remove those obstacles. What we need to do, what you need to do, is do not look at the worldly causes. You do not think that how can this happen? How will this happen? When this is the work of Allah, this is the deen of Allah. So we should then put our gaze on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should affix our gaze upon Allah and let not these asbab and dunya and the worldly causes deter you from this mission, from this task. Allah Ta'ala Himself will create the asbab, create these causes around you in such a way that automatically everything else will fall into place. If there is a person who is doing work of deen with ikhlas, with sincerity, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become your protector. Allah Ta'ala will become your helper. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be at your side. This is a very important point to remember. And how do we know this? Again, this dua, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam to Fir'aun, and also saying that izhab ila Fir'aun innahu tagha, that go to Fir'aun because Fir'aun has become rebellious. Now at that time, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he is scared, and both are being, there's this natural scare, right? That how can I give da'wat to Fir'aun? He's so powerful, so strong. So both Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam and Sayyidina Harun alayhi salam, they turn to Allah Ta'ala, and then Allah Ta'ala says to them in the Quran, that la takhafa, that don't be scared. Don't have this khawf. Innani ma'akuma asma'u wa ara. That indeed I am with the two of you, and I listen to you, and I'm also looking at you. I'm watching you. Yani when Fir'aun, you go to Fir'aun, and whatever Fir'aun says to you, I'm listening. I'm listening to that as well. And I'm with the two of you. And I'm also watching you. So when I'm watching you, and when I'm listening to you, and when I'm with you, then why are you scared? There's nothing to be scared about. I'm with you. I will be with you all the time. You do work of deen, I'm with you, I'm watching over you, I'm listening to you. So there's nothing to be scared about, nothing to be worried about. So in this way, when a person does work of deen, where their gaze is fixed upon Allah Ta'ala, then Allah Ta'ala becomes your helper. Allah Ta'ala will support you. Allah Ta'ala will take care of your needs. And whatever needs that you have, Allah Ta'ala will give it to you. And how do we know this? Again, look at this dua. That when Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, when Allah Ta'ala says to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, that you go to Fir'aun, and Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he senses that I have this lisp on my tongue. So I'm not able to speak clearly. So he makes this dua at this time. This is that time, right? Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli Haruna akhi. Now look at the dua that you have when there is a person who is giving da'wah, with sincerity and he goes in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is now walking in the path of Allah. He is walking in the path of Allah, and at this time, if he makes this dua that, Ya Allah, my brother, Allah grant him nabuwat, make him wazir, and he make my brother also a nabi like me. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts that dua and Allah ta'ala bestows nabuwat on the brother of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Allahu Akbar. Yani if we also, any person who does work of deen, and you step out on the path of Allah ta'ala, there is a student of deen, they step out on the path of Allah, and they also make this dua that, Ya Allah, I'm doing this work of deen, I'm trying to acquire knowledge of deen, and let's say my parents are an obstacle, or my husband is an obstacle, my wife, she's an obstacle, my siblings are an obstacle, my friends are an obstacle. Allah, I want to come to you. I want to acquire this knowledge. I want to increase in my love for you. But, Ya Allah, there are some obstacles, there's some people, there's some difficulties on this path. Ya Allah, you become my helper. Allah, you help me, you support me. If a person makes this dua to Allah Ta'ala at that time, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why wouldn't he accept that dua? Look here in Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam is making dua that, Ya Allah, I'm having this difficulty in this path of inviting Fir'aun. Allah, make my brother my support, and Allah Ta'ala blesses Sayyidina Harun alayhi salam with the nabuwat. So that Allah Ta'ala, who can bless Sayyidina Harun alayhi salam with the nabuwat, if you make dua to Allah, why can't Allah Ta'ala bless you with the wilayat? Allah Ta'ala can grant you the nur of wilayat. So this is a lesson that we should do work of deen, and we should do work of deen with ikhlas, and keep our gaze fixed upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then when you're on this path of doing khidmat al-deen, make dua to Allah. Make massive duas to Allah, because these are duas which will be accepted. Allah Ta'ala can change the hearts of other people around you. Allah Ta'ala can change those difficult halat, difficult situations around you, difficult circumstances. Allah Ta'ala can grant you ease. Allah Ta'ala can become your helper. So we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of us the tawfiq that we can also implement this dua in our life. We can learn this dua, use this dua, and through this dua, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this ni'mat of ruju ilallah. That for every work and every task, every action that we do, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this ability that we can do it with His remembrance, with His zikr. And may Allah ta'ala also grant us the shauq and the zawq and the jazba for making du'as to Him. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhana rabbil al-wahhab. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ، لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. صلى الله تعالى على حبيبه خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.